5 seconds remaining.
It's a pretty strong lane if you go DP5 Terrorblade as well. So I guess TNC should be able to secure that lane in particular. I'm very concerned about this Visage Tiny lane because I don't think Tiny is a very good laner, and I think as a support, and I think Visage can definitely his weaknesses are in the early levels as well. So that's my one concern right now for TNCs, and I don't know if they can change it up because I'm pretty sure Visage is like hard stuck 3, especially for TNC.
Radiant team ban.
Trying to think what 4 they're actually just going to go on
Lilgun?
on TNC side.
TNC,
sorry, on Lilgun side. Yeah. No, you're right. Like the Snapfire is gone. I'm just thinking like what deals a good amount of burst damage that's able to make use out of the.
10
You
seconds.
Do
still
you even
Hoodwink.
need to layer in damage? I guess Hoodwink's fine, right? I'm
Yeah,
just wondering, do you even need
5
to layer in
seconds.
damage?
Yes.
Like, you've got a
Yes.
monkey, you've got a TA, you've got 2 people holding you in position. I think you just need high magic damage that isn't necessarily reliant on people being held in place.
I think you need a hero that can wave clear because you're going to have real big issues with your lanes with the illusions and familiars. And I think
Or Zeus.
10 seconds remaining.
I'd like that a lot. We're seeing it in Eastern Europe. I think
5
Western Europe are running it a lot as
seconds
well. It's not really
Radiant
come down to
team
C
pick.
though.
Okay, same sort of deal. Not great at pushing out lanes, but certainly is able to make usage out of the, I don't want to say multitude, but plenty of stuns that they've got right now on Lilgun. Also means that that Wyvern isn't quite as good anymore that I was talking about,
10
right? Like,
seconds
you
remaining.
hold someone in position with a cold embrace, you're just setting them up for a Mystic Flare, which isn't good.
5 seconds remaining.
Can you... Abaddon looks very good for TNC. Defensive support if...
You just silence him, right? With the Ancient
true.
Seal or
Yeah.
the PH
Yeah,
Eventual
okay.
Trap.
Is there another defensive support you could consider? Because to purge off Overgrowth, keep them alive through the Mystic Flare Burst. I think also with DP and Terrorblade, it's really nice to let them get their abilities off and Sunder. Oh man, Shadow Demon would have been so good for them. Jesus.
They couldn't just Ogre. It's kind of weak here. Just thinking something that's going to buff up this Terrorblade to be able to come online that little bit earlier. Something able to stack up some camps. Natural 4-staff builder will be really nice as well. Just to be able to get out of Overgrowth, to get out of Wukongs, to get people out of Mystic Flare.
Have they flexed too hard on TNC? Like
Don't think so.
Yeah, I'm very much concerned at the moment with we're both mentioning like the TA tiny lane is going to be a bit difficult, and you can't really put the Visage in another lane as well. Like, so what, Visage tiny side lane, DP2, but then you're going to have a pretty rough lane with the Visage tiny, which is a big concern. So you're already kind of sacrificing one lane. Maybe DP can help out with early exos, but now it feels like you kind of need a lot with this last support. They don't have a lot of control. You are very reliant on EXO to take objectives, and I guess Visage, depending on 15 talent. So they go for a bit more of a team fighting hero, and I don't hate it. I definitely think there was a big advantage for Lilgun in regards to their team fight with Arena, Overgrowth, Wukongs. So now that TNC are able to pick up the Warlock, you now have... You're really going to put Lilgun in a position where you have to go BKBs.
Yes, but I mean, the main thing for me is... You've got this Warlock, right? If anyone gets on top of him, he's dead. He has no escape. He is very squishy. You have no stuns outside of your ultimate, and even that's a little bit delayed, right? So you could probably just get Boundless and Blink, Meld, Strike, and you're dead, right? So where TNC had such a strong time in that game number 1 was Mavis's aggressive positioning on the Enchantress. We was able to shove lanes in to force the enemy position 1 to not feel safe farming in a lane. Warlock cannot do that. And honestly, I don't see anyone on TNC that's capable of doing that outside of a Terrorblade with his illusions. So, I don't know, it just feels like it's a very different style that they're having to play on TNC now. They're not going to be anywhere near as proactive, in my mind. I think they're a lot stronger once they get the Blink Dagger up on the Tiny, but until that point, they're going to need to be very reactionary and try and read what Lilgun do. It just feels like a much harder to execute draft for me.
Yep. Yeah, that was the point I was going to bring up. It felt like their lineup is more reactionary with... They don't have ways to be able to really take fights. I think that the ways you can force it is EXO with forcing down an objective, or when you do get that tiny blink, which could take a lot of time because we're kind of looking at this tiny Visage lane and feeling like it could be a bit difficult. But I do want to mention though that I think they played the last game really well in regards to the lane, with recognizing like we have to avoid that lane and just play for pulls. So I think that this is you're going to have to replicate that game 1 lane and just completely avoid that and kind of pull the wave. Maybe Tiny can get an early level 2, rotate on one of the power runes, and maybe go from there.
See in the old chat?
No, I had to DC. I just saw mine. What's he saying mine to?
Absolutely ridiculous. Yoe was asking 423 whose voice it is in the voice lines for Lilgun, and well, 423 is claiming him.
30 seconds.
You got packet loss issues or no? Just me?
Not me.
Love to see it. I can't even say Melbourne internet. Carlo's up to his shenanigans, trying to scout out the ward placement. Kept going a little bit high. Would have seen, at least had a good idea of where Lilgun placed down their own ward, but it's not going to be the case.
The battle begins.
There's a lot of comfort though on Lilgun. Take a look. They've got 3 heroes in the master tier. 25's master tier, right?
Yes.
30 Grandmaster. Oh. Radiant, they got none. Come on.
A couple of platinums.
Nah, not good enough. Get on your grind.
Platinum's fine. Gold is like anyone can get gold. Platinum, you actually need to put in the hours.
No, not good enough. You need master.
How many platinum heroes do you have? How many master heroes do you have?
Not an absolute nerd like you are. I don't know life.
Well, maybe you need to.
Yeah, maybe I do. Honestly, I like the concept of, I mean, it's been in ages, but just grinding and getting that little shiny thing and having cool voice lines as well. I want them, but I can't grind no more. Dude, what is going on?
No more. You're in your early 20s.
I've got stuff, man.
Got
I've got
no
stuff to
responsibilities.
do. What do you mean? I have work responsibilities.
I don't believe a word of it.
What the hell? What is going on? Hollow?
It's just a conga line, man.
Yeah, but Ace is gonna die, so it's a conga line that also gets our first blood.
And then this is where the new lane is. It's just here, in the dire jungle.
Alright, well, off to a good side is TNC. That was really the one lane I was worried about, so the fact they're able to already find first blood. Was it Bok that got it? Yeah, Bok did get it. So
look at this as well. How often do you see the Radiant creeps hitting in a small camp as well? Where Ace is like trying to deny them out. So that's a lot of farm that 423 is not getting. So yeah, in terms of the laning stage, I don't want to say it's won necessarily for TNC, but they have gone a long way to securing it for themselves. This was the scary time.
That was that one lane that we were really concerned about. More bottom. As he's looking for the moment. Oh, if I look at bottom, my screen does not fare well.
Yeah.
Kishka?
You're lucky that we don't have a Phantom Lancer in this game as well.
Yeah, jeez.
They got a little bit unlucky there. The Fatal Bonds didn't connect onto the Skywrath. It ended up getting a neutral creep instead, so they weren't able to get the amount of damage that they were hoping for out of that combination together. Fatal Bonds plus Reflection.
I know your demon well.
You at least do get out of harm's way of this first metamorphosis usage. Of course, the damage getting buffed up pretty heavily, and they might start to get aggressive now. Yeah, Mavis is just free pickings for them with the spear. Easy find for 11. Beautifully done. Lilgun just played it patiently, waiting for the meta to expire, and as soon as it did, we saw them start to be a little bit more aggressive with their spell casting. I don't think...
Did you hear some of the voice lines, the flavor text that were happening in this bot lane? You know, when the two heroes come together and they talk to each other?
No, I did not. Well, who are the heroes?
Terrorblade was speaking to Warlock. He's like, Warlock, I know your demon well. Like, very edgy, you know, that sort of thing. Do you have any favorite voice lines?
No, not really. There are some cool ones though. I like the well, hang on, top lane, Carlo. Might be in a bit of trouble. He's gonna try and TP out. I guess he reads that all the stuns are lacking, so nice heads up play. No, I don't have any favorites. I just like in general that they have the kind of customized voice lines or personal voice lines, I should say. Yeah, where you just they do a very good job at being able to implement those things. Small things, but they do kind of add up with every little thing that is in the game. Dude, I might.
Dota's sound game has already been top tier. Like, that's the thing. Like, every single spell, you know what's happening whenever it's cast, right? Just feeding himself into the tier 2 tower to refresh the mana pool is Skywrath Mage. So Kishka just trying to be as efficient as possible. They've gotten a little bit unlucky on this bottom side. I mentioned that Fatal Bonds interaction twice, and they got unlucky a third time as well, where Skywrath Mage wasn't actually latched onto by the bonds. So hopefully for TNC's sake, next time he's going to be a little bit more fortunate.
Do you have a TP mid to try and refill Sanctity's bottle? Still getting crushed mid lane. 20 and 3 compared to the 25 and 5, but even though Sanctity's got a little bit of a last hit advantage, Chris is really starting to ramp up the aggression with these Spirit Siphon levels.
Now, with that refresh mana pool,
Bottom lane, 11.
Back down bottom.
All right. Mavis in your way, beautifully done. Able to get the kill thanks to the second use of the meta.
I do like how a lot more people are playing around the Fatal Bonds as being much more of an aggressive spell these days. Previously, you would just pick, like, Warlock Spectre, and it was purely like, we need to secure our carry's lane. Let's be passive. Let's make sure that he doesn't need to spend a lot on regen, but you know, obviously now able to get a bunch of kills that you probably have no right to. And then just with this, with the Fatal Bonds, with the Shadow Word, you can turn around and fight.
Is able to tank through
again, though. Not on the Skywrath.
No way.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try and get rid of the creeps from the small camp. Kishka continuing to chuck in all the spells to try and bring him down low. We are going to have a bit of a battle in regards to the power runes. Carlo and Chris should be able to win this if it is top, and unfortunately, Sanctity is going to be able to find the regen. It's important as well that Sanctity now has kind of full resources to be able to shove out this lane. Chris might be in trouble. Enters the high gun into the trap, and Ace 12 being able to connect as well with the Nature's Grasp. Carlo with the toss away, but he doesn't get too much distance. Going to be relying on the side blades, but they do not find it. And now Chris, he can re-enter this team fight, especially with Mavis showing up. They will not be able to continue the chase, as Sanctity and Ace 12 will be okay.
Yeah, the consistent issue for TNC is always going to be catching up to someone, at least until you get that Blink Dagger available on the Tiny. Just for that constant re-engage, whereas, you know, you just consider what it's like on Lilgun's side. You got stuns, you got slows. Very easy for them to land a lot of these things.
Alright, when do you think the best time to restart Dota? Because it has to be done. I don't know. I've DC'd multiple times and this pack
right now.
Alright, right now. We are doing it. 1 second.
Oh my god, you'll never see that play again.
Absolutely. Of course. I was just concerned, you know, it's going to be the one time where Exo's popped and everyone converges on the mid lane and they try and take the tower. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. I got, you know, oh, we are back. Never mind. That's all good.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah. I hope it fixes the issue. I've never had internet issues for quite some time, actually. Always.
Topside. A little bit of aggressive move. Yeah.
All right, we're back. 4, 2, 3. Should be alright for the moment. I'll try and bring down the tower. 11.
Rolled over.
No, that did not fit my pack a lot issues.
If I could help, I would. But I can't.
I appreciate that. I don't think there's a solution. Krish. So if they're going to have the damage this time, Without the heals coming through, Krishak's is still going to be able to get some distance. Avalanche drop from Carlo. So they're going to turn their attention over towards the Tiny, but they do get the toss under the tower. Krishak's got one more Spirit Siphon charge, but still lacking their damage. So Lilgun able to hit the board in the mid lane.
I think it's just going to be not dull, but uneventful. At least for the next minute and a half, right? You've got the Exorcism still available. Hasn't really gotten too much use out of it. Well, they're going for a smoke. I mean, who are they trying to pick off here? 4-2-3 trying to be here behind the creep wave? That'd be a great get. Probably doesn't expect a smoke to be coming down to the bottom side of the map.
Let's see if he reads it. Tries to dodge the damage. He's been a bit off the mark in the past couple of days with this Mischief play. Unfortunate there for 4-2-3, so able to get that first little instance of damage, and they will pop the Crypt Swarm, sorry, they will pop the Exo as well for this, so I can't imagine they're going to do too much damage into the offlane tower of Lilgun.
Still a decent amount, and particularly against a TA, it is still kind of important that you get some damage into it, but well, looks like he feels like without the creep wave, not enough confidence to be able to push up into that one. But still securing the neutral items, of course, very important at this stage.
So we were kind of saying that TNC, they're the ones that don't really have ways to really start fights and get active through the early stages without Blink and kind of Exo to force these engagements. So what are we kind of looking for in regards to Lilgun to push the tempo and start to get some kills across the map?
Well, not ruining your team's own stack with your TA illusion that just started auto-attacking, that's for sure. It's just going to be about making sure that the TA has a good amount of farm and is able to get that snowball happen. Again, from the very beginning of this draft, they built around Sanctity and his potential to carry this game for them. So
top lane,
you got to take every moment.
It's going to run straight to 11. No hesitation with the arena, going to be committed. Sanctity, but hey, should be able to catch up. Beautiful micro. It's going to try and give some space as well with Carlo entering. Have a toss away Sanctity, and wow, Box able to stay alive. Man, Carlo has been really on point in this early game. He's only got 2 assists, but I think just with all these toss used defensively, and this is opening up mid for TNC maybe to find a tower.
Maybe, yeah, they're using that 10-minute catapult wave, they're using the Metamorphosis, even without the Exo. So maybe once this is done, they can look to make a rotation up towards this top side.
Oh, Rock's going to be dropped. Mavis with the Fatal Bonds out as well. 11, not long for this world, and our Sanctity is going to be cautious. Chris is able to deal with the refraction charges, but the T1 tower is gone, and that was all TNC were hoping to get.
Like he will get the Golem, so another 100 gold going the way of Sanctity. They were not, unfortunately, able to keep the Siege Creep alive on the top side, so no significant damage being pumped into this one, but still, 11 minutes in, without Exo, against a Treant Protector, and you're able to get a tier 1 tower. TNC are very happy with that.
I think we're gonna...
do we have a Yule Scepter coming out for our DP? Looks like we do, so obviously very important to be able to break things like the Overgrowth, like the Mystic Flare, even just the silence coming out from the Skywrath Mage. So looking to see Krish play a whole lot more aggressively. But, I mean, the downside, of course, for Carlo making a lot of those great plays is that his net worth has really suffered. He's at the bottom of the net worth charts right now, and that's why they've given him a little bit more of this space on the bottom side to be able to catch
Krish might be in trouble. Trap's going to slow him down, but beautiful timing. Used to dodge the spear, but the Wukong's committed. Krish going to try and play around with the bottle sips, and that's going to be enough sustain. Again, it's Lilgun that are lacking the damage.
Oh, I thought he was getting a little bit antsy with all of his spell usage there. They didn't actually have a sentry ward, so as long as he just popped the invis and ran away, he would have been totally fine. Still is fine in the end, but he would have hated to have died from that. But, yeah, still going to be a passive-ish game for the next little bit. I mean, even, I was mentioning before, right, with Sanctity, his illusion unfortunately messed up the stack. Even just when he made that rotation up towards the top side previously, trying to kill Box Visage, his courier was on the way with a completed Dragonlance. At the time, I think he only had one of the bands of Elven Skin. And so, maybe if he just waited that extra 3 seconds for the team to make the initiation, it would have been enough to take him out, and it could have transitioned into a much more meaningful objective.
They will not need to commit the exo for this tier 1. Arena's still on cooldown for another 25 seconds, so I don't think there's going to be a defense for Lilgun. I mean, this is important to find 2 early tier 1 towers versus a Treant Protector.
Without exo for either of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... I think he always had a very good series so far. Of course, very early on in the second game, but just his involvement with the metas, showing that he's looking... He's always keeping his eyes on the map and when he can kind of get involved. This is definitely one of the nice things about the Terrorblade, is that when you can kind of have a free game, you're not put in a position where you need the meta to farm the jungle, so you can kind of use that big ability to get aggressive instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know that you've got other people that are going to be wanting to take stacks from you, so you just need to make sure that you're a little bit more conservative, I suppose, with your meta usage until it's actually going to result in something like a big team fight. I mentioned it in the laning stage, right? Fatal Bonds plus Reflection plus meta. It's such a big damage combination together. So to have that at your disposal, it's a big thing.
Sanctity. Uh-oh, Exo popped and Carlo, along with Chris, spring the trap by the triangle, and Sanctity loses refraction charges, soon to lose his health as well. Detection. There we go. Mavis going to be able to provide it. And afterwards, they can get the kill. Now, they might take the fight, Lilgun. They did just get the blink though on a Mars, but he used Arena. Where was Arena used?
Good question. I'm not sure. Did he even do any damage? Nope. I'm just looking at the fight recap, and well, he didn't do any damage throughout all of that. So maybe just testing that the Arena worked. Maybe 11's going through some of your packet loss.
He can take all of it if he wants. It's not getting better. Oh, this is... It's an interesting read from Sanctity, because he had the blink queued up for quite some time, still has it queued up, but transitioned to the Desolator instead, so maybe if they can win one team fight, you can then lead that into the pit, but it's going to be all reliant now on the Mars to be able to enter the fight with this blink, so there's definitely a window now for Lilgun to take some engagements, because we saw prior to that they didn't really have the greatest way to start, so gonna have to start getting pretty active on the map, because you do have this Terrorblade who's just free farming.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, it's this balance that you need to strike, right? Because Sanctity, obviously, he's the win condition. He needs to be farming, so you want him to have the Desolator to be able to do that, as well as open up more objectives for yourself. But it does feel like they are lacking that hero that's wanting to go in and be that real initiator. Like, you can't be greedy enough and have both 4-2-3 as well as Sanctity farming. It just doesn't work that way. You need someone creating tempo on the map so that you're not losing objectives and you're taking a bunch of stuff for your own. Looks like they're going to go for a smoke with the 4 of them, just giving him more of that time to be able to finish up that Deso. But again, I've said it time and time again. You can smoke. That's positioning, man. He's a great support.
Are they even going to kill him?
Nope.
Oh my lord,
He wants someone better.
Mavis.
But he saw everything.
Oh,
As soon as
man.
one smoke pops, you know someone else is moving around the general area. So, yeah, this is the sort of thing where, like, if you smoke, it needs to be a kill into an objective. If it's pre-30 minutes. I don't think there's too many excuses to use it other than that, unless your core is having an absolutely horrible time, which he isn't. You know, Sanctity, he's still sitting top of the net worth charts, just not as much as I'm sure he would be hoping.
Right, they're getting some pretty hefty items here. Wraith Pack completed. You've got the early plate mail as well with Krish and the Arcane. They're ready to force a fight. I wonder if they're going to try and force it if they just go into Roche or if they want to pick off beforehand. Let's see. Roche is the call.
They just freshly picked up that level 12 Arcane Rune on Krish, so yeah, it certainly is viable for them to do so. Again, Carlo just doing his best to shove lanes out. If he dies, he dies. It'll be obviously some valuable gold for 4-2-3 if he picks it up, but well, he's going to value his life. Basically, just keeping him guessing. More time that he's spent pump faking his ulti is less time that they're going to contest the Roshan.
Can we use it? Has he ever got the damage? Carlo tries to hold him back with the avalanche. Nice play from 4-2-3, jumping to the tree line. Really cute play, but this tree dance is being cancelled for the moment. They will not be able to catch up to the Monkey King, though, so Easy kill. Meanwhile, bottom lane trying to chase down Mavis, but behind the safety of the T2 tower. Careful, friend. Don't step too far. Both Monkey King and Mavis. Ones that could be in harm's way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is mine.
Dire's top tower is under
Now,
attack.
Philosopher's Stone. Give that over to the Warlock. He is a happy chappy. Honestly, even the Visage, not one of those heroes that really requires the right-click damage for yourself. Much more of it being dealt by the Familiars and the Soul Assumption at this stage. But, I don't know, to me it just feels like that death from Carlo, a lot of people would say it's feeding, but he's just doing so much by revealing himself on the map, not making the Roshan quite as obvious. It shows the value of information as well, right? He made sure to back off immediately, playing a little bit more safely around the creep wave once his smoke had popped from the Monkey King in the tree line. So yeah, I think Carlo again is just having another great game, shoving out lanes, and now he's got even a blink dagger for himself. So the death didn't even mean all that much.
Bottom lane, Sanctity. Cautious, my friends. Starting to TP down. Mavis and Chris standing hand in hand. They do have some big ultimates to the ready in TNC. So love this read as well. Just the armor is going to be so important. Against the Monkey King, physical damage. Against the Templar Assassin, physical damage as well. That's always the big concern on a Death Prophet. And the big ways you can blow him up with the lack of armor.
Dire's top tower is under
Let's see if they
attack.
jump. Do they take the bait? Mavis standing behind. Carlo as well. He's always ready to jump on any opportunity.
See them cower before us.
Even just looking at the top side, right? Like, you're slowly but surely starting to take some significant damage into this tier 2 tower top, and it forces a rotation eventually out from the Tree Protector. So once they see some kind of presence that Ace 12 is up here, that'll be their signal to go. I think they've kind of seen the nature of
He gets a glimpse. He's able to run into 11. Doesn't toss him closer to Mavis, so 11 with the use of Arena should make it out. Oh boy.
That is one of the big weaknesses of TNC's draft, right? The catch, minimal. Outside of this tiny, this is really why I was saying for so long that a big part of their willingness to want to fight is going to be around this tiny blink dagger. And they got the initial little bit, but yeah, just missing up that toss component meant that they weren't able to convert it into anything super significant. A tier 1 tower is nice, but not at the cost of a blink dagger reveal plus
Mid
Chaotic
lane?
Offering.
Poor Carlo. Hate to see it.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Sanctity's
attack.
still farming, man. Level 17.
Short of prize.
Be careful, though.
So might be in trouble. 11's gonna jump in. Targeting down Krish at the moment. Krish hasn't been able to get the Yule Scepter off. Sanctity's bringing down the Death Prophet incredibly low. They secure the kill now to the west, 4-2-3. But Wukong's going to make it difficult for them to enter the fight on Yowei. They're continuing to lose their numbers here. Yowei doesn't really have anyone to play behind him. They'll turn to Bok next, but an early use of the Aghanim shot is able to protect the Visage for the moment, and Yowei
much
continuing on
damage.
toward the higher gun, and with the Fatal Bonds really racking up the damage. Lilgun have to pay their respects and get out, especially with the buyback coming out.
You just see what Yoe is able to output, though, in terms of damage, right? 3,000 in that fight.
Dire's middle
Just
tower
from,
is under
honestly, a
attack.
lot of it was from his reflection, right? Just that lowish cooldown, able to spam it out pretty frequently. And, well, forces a back off. I'm a little surprised that they didn't look to commit and pop the BKB on the TA just because of how strong Sanctity is at this stage. Maybe just really wanting that BKB to, again, going onto the front lines. They're lacking in stuns and just burst down that Warlock before he's able to have an influence into these team fights.
How long? Okay, not long on ages. Definitely Skadi going to be the next team we're looking for, though, on TNC. Do you feel like with Skadi, yep, and when Rock's back up, you look to smoke on TNC?
Seeing what else they might be waiting for. I mean, Mavis isn't a huge amount away from picking up the Holy Locket, but yeah, I would say you still need to make sure you go now with the Shadow Word Ag Shard. Of course, such a strong combination, but, well, you really got to pick and choose when you actually want to engage, because, again, this is going to be into Sanctity, and he's just increasing that net worth lead more and more the more time you give him.
It is though a TA into a Terrorblade. So it's definitely late game a pretty good matchup for the Terrorblade. You've got an incredible amount of armor to be able to survive through the physical damage from Sanctity. And of course the minus armor as well, so you don't really care about it, but you've got plenty of illusions to be able to deal with the refraction. So late game, Terrorblade is definitely going to feel very comfortable into this matchup, so maybe they're not overly concerned. But I guess Lilgun, they can just eke out a victory in regards to their team fight. That's one thing that I feel like TNC do have pretty good team fight, but maybe it just comes down to execution. Grish.
Gonna come down to
Oh,
Ace.
great timing with the Your Scepter. They're gonna miss on the spear. Mavis with the counter initiation. The rock's gonna be dropped. They're still able to get rid of Krish at the side of the fight. Now to the north though, 4-2-3. Wukong's gonna be dropped. A-Swab's gonna try and jump into the middle as well with the overgrowth. That should be enough. Again, the Stoneform though. They don't have any answer to the invulnerability, but as soon as he pops out, trapped inside the Wukong's command, Mavis can try and give him a little bit of health back. But is it actually gonna be enough? It looks like it is. Now Carlo tosses 4-2-3 straight into the grasping hands of Yellowway. And the Terrorblade continuing to show how much damage it can truly do at this stage of the game.
I'm surprised they backed off on Lilgun there. It was a really nice use of the blink overgrowth coming through from Ace, and I think that's going to be the big thing that really influences a lot of these team fights. Even looking to use the living armor onto the TA, and then Sanctity just bails out. Could have potentially enabled the Monkey King to stand there. And
Sanctity? He doesn't have a TP. If they can get one more right click off before his blink, he's not going to get any distance, so as Carlo can continue the hunt. Sanctity needs to do with a tiny, but he won't be able to do so. As Carlo making so much happen across the map, even just toying with him. You're putting him on the edge, saying like, maybe you get this kill, maybe you cannot. And Carlo survives on a slither of health and has the last laugh.
He's a great player, Carlo. You know, just constantly finding these pickoffs on heroes that, well, to be fair, probably shouldn't have been in that position in the first place, but it's just looking... I don't want to say great for TNC because you're at this level disadvantage, and that's the big thing for mine. You know, TA, one of those heroes that hates such big power spikes when you hit, you know, your level 20. It means that you don't need to worry about things like the reflection, for example. If you go the meld dispel, you can get rid of that. You can get rid of the fatal bonds onto yourself, which is going to be ticking away at your refraction charges. So I think that probably is the avenue that the TA is going to go down this game in particular, just because of how much utility it's going to provide, and maybe that's the thing that turns around this next team fight or two.
Is there a team's position you would prefer to be in at this stage in the game?
I'd prefer to be in Lilgun's position, to be honest. I feel like as long as you... I mean, you've got this Treant Protector who has the Aghanim Shard and the Blink Dagger, so I really feel like you're in a position on Ace 12 to just give him all of the Observer Wards and just get some super deep ones down. You've already got a Monkey King providing you a lot of this vision. To me, it's about kill the Warlock, win the team fight, because the damage is so heavily reduced if that's the case.
Max out Shadow Word with the +2 second duration as well. Of course, the Ag Shard, so Mavis is... It's not just a Fatal Bonds kind of bot now. A lot of people are saying that was truly the big ability from him with how long of a cooldown the Chaotic offering is. You know, he's got another ability in the arsenal. Lilgun and TNC. Oh boy. So close to each other. Who starts this fight, though?
Haste.
Kind of praying for this Roche Pit fight. They've got the vision advantage.
Dire's bottom
Does
tower
Bok have a
is under
gem?
attack.
Not quite. Just playing around the sentries for now. Will still be enough to be able to scout out that TA trap. So the ones with information first are going to be TNC. I'm a little surprised that Lilgun gave up that high ground quite so easily. Did end up going for that Meld Dispels talent on the TA. I believe he might have a Chrysalis coming out to him as well. So just the damage output, pretty nutty. And they'll know that this is a really late Roshan respawn coming through. Smoke's going to be kind of obvious, though. I mean, they just cleared out a TB illusion.
Dire are scanning.
So let's see how TNC are going to look to position themselves.
Gonna jump Krish. This time he does get the Your Scepter off along with the Mystic Flare Burst. A beautiful start to the fight for Lilgun. But can they stick around though? There's always the threat of the meta as Yolwei. He wants to enter. He wants a second say at this. 4-2-3 protected for the moment with the Wukong's command. So TNC just gonna look to avoid the area. They don't have a way to keep the Mars alive. Still to the west though. 4-2-3 being a nuisance back to the mid lane. Yolwei. Combination with Carlo. Link has already been expended, so we can't get a counter initiation into the middle, but they feel like enough ultimates were used for TNC now to move into the pit.
Yeah, half duration left on that meta. They certainly have the damage potential coming through. With that drums available, with the Wraith Pact increased damage, they should be able to claim it. It shows how quickly they could burst someone down though, right? The damage potential, the output on Lilgun is just insane if they get it onto the right target. And unfortunately for Chris, she doesn't have that BKB just yet. They're 900 gold away, and that will be the big...
Guys, there's a shard in the pit.
About to say, do they all have it? No.
Don't leave it there in the hopes of someone taking it on Dire. Did they get it? They didn't get it.
Nope.
What's going on?
It's a present for whoever checks Roche next.
Oh, on top. Oh, wait, what just happened there with the 4-star? What was that play? Carlo 4-star, he might have meant to 4-star the Visage. Regardless, it had the same effect. Putting Mars in a position where he wasn't expecting, so the spear was going to be off the mark.
Still playing around this
Another jump
round.
in. 11 gets a connection. But Bok, beautiful timing in regards to the stone form, so they're going to turn to deal with Krish instead. The Exos pop, but Krish going to be okay. Again, they can't enter the fight. The Wukong's command giving them a little bit of control for Lilgun, but as soon as it expires, TNC can then pounce afterwards. As Carlo, he's waiting the wings, patiently trying to find an angle in with the blink. Should have the opportunity now, but great reaction. Sanctity reads it perfectly. Pushing it back and forth, they go with the double bound, the strike, getting rid of Tiny. TNC, you've got meta up shortly in 10 seconds, but Exo soon to expire. Can they stick around to protect Yolwei? Of course, he still has the ages advantage. They're doing an exceptional job to be able to kite the Terrorblade, but to the north they go. They want to deal with Maeve instead. They're still stalking. 11, blink on cooldown. The rest of Lilgun starting to move on over, but looks like TNC will get away with some of their cores.
It's that power of information, though. At the start of that team fight, it was the Observer Ward placed up on the high ground. Sanctity not immediately going for the kills, realizing how important it is just for them to have the lay of the land of that fight. And wouldn't you know it, he was also rewarded. He ended up juking out through the Roche pit and picked up the Ag Shard for himself. So very nice for Sanctity.
Oh no. I cannot believe they didn't get it. Like this shard is still very good on TA. So this is you'd hate for this to be a big reason on why they're able to snag this second game. As it's Lilgun with the net worth lead now. Up to 3,000 with the tier 2 tower being claimed. I don't... Okay, do Radiant have the lineup...
Even.
Wait, say that again?
Win probability is still pretty even.
Yeah, it is. Which you love to see in a game like this. Of course, two very competitive teams. TNC being with a 1-2 series count. Lilgun, they are 3-0. But Lilgun, they have faced all three the open qualifier teams. I guess Made in Philippines are 2-2 though. So it's not like they are no slouch of a team. But see how this next fight's going to shape up. Smoke up on TNC. They still have the Aegis for another minute 40 and the blink on Yolwei. So looking to enter the fight with a big statement. Have they run into Ace?
Positioning.
Oh my lord, no way. Ace pops the smoke and our Sanctity 11's in! Oh, the arena on to 3. Bye-bye both the supports. They're going to instantly buy back on Mavis. Feeling the importance of the team fight, Chris charging towards Sanctity's location, but it's going to be cautious. BKB expires, and now they've got firm control of the area. Wukong's lay it down as they melt through Chris's life pool. As Lilgun, they can chain this into more. TNC.
They see the Warlock.
Oh, they're in again. Sancty and 11 straight onto Bok. But an even better use of the ultimate from Mavis, controlling every hero, but it will not matter as your way. Last second use of the Sunder. 4-2-3's got to try and stand his ground, but the Satanic, look at him do it all by himself. Your way needs help. So Bok's going to look to buy back. He's got the second light, but he won't have meta for it. Oh, charging forward they go. Lilgun feel like they can't take this fight now.
Are scanning.
11 in the tree line. Whoa, what a team fight.
Ace is still hanging around. I'm not sure what for. As he gets the TP out with the gem. Woo. You nearly had the backing there of the Terrorblade to be able to 1v5, but still just wasn't able to. You know, I don't know how those creeps got there as well, just basically completely revealing the Warlock's position throughout all of that team fight, but there was some really good movement coming through from 4-2-3 on his Monkey King to be able to, again, catch the backline. And what a great initiation. That's what they need every single time on Lilgun. It's always just going to be blink in, arena, force BKBs to be popped, and then overgrowth immediately afterwards to waste a huge portion of it. And it's just going to get better as time goes on until you get, like, refreshers up on TNC, and that's not going to be for quite some time.
Haste.
Do you like the route that Ace is going down with the forced off next item?
I think what I would prefer is the thing, right? Like, maybe a Solar Crest, just because it's going to provide you a way to man fight into the TB a little bit easier, but Solar Crest is a kind of a bad item these days, so I don't know.
Okay, this is a really big call from your way here. Oh, never mind. Okay, goes Daedalus instead. I was going to say...
Was he going Rapier?
He was going Butterfly, and I was going to say it's probably going to give you 1 or 2 fights where it's going to catch Lilgun off guard with the no way to be able to deal with the evasion. And if you win those fights, then you could be in a position where getting MKB just takes too long. But that's not going to be the case.
Not even, though. I mean, he's against a lot of True Strike, regardless, right? Like, the God's Rebuke is True Strike, the Boundless Strike is True Strike, the Side Blades is True Strike,
That's true. Yep. Okay.
they actually have plenty of ways to get through the evasion.
Dire are scanning.
Lilgun, you've got 11 almost with the... I think he's already got the recipe. Where is his choreo? I don't know where it is. Yes, 11. Just looking for the refresher component in the recipe. Yes, he's already got it. So very close to refresher. We've already seen, especially in that last fight, how important 11's ultimate was, and now he's going to have 2 in the arsenal.
Even just the smaller things, obviously for the offensive potential, having the AC on the Visage is going to be huge, but I mean, the bunch of extra armor for someone squishy like a Warlock is nothing to joke about as well. You know, an extra second might mean that you get your Fatal Bonds off, or you might get an AoE heal, or you might get your ultimate. You know, it's such a big difference maker that literally 1 second can make.
What's timing on Roche? Mine's bugged because I DC'd.
45 seconds until
Radiant's
it could
middle
spawn.
tower is under attack.
Almost as big. We're really, either side is starting. Oh, look at that. What is it? Exact timing. TNC and Lilgun both smoke together. Head charging into each other. Sanctity. Oh, Ace gonna jump aggressively into the middle. They're off for the combo. Could cost Carlo his life, but Mavis is gonna have something else to say with it. Drop of the combination with the rock used. They want to stick around on TNC though. Continuing to retreat is 11 again. Double speed. Sanctity is going to enter with all the damage it would ever require to blow up Krish. But Yolway, they still need to be cautious about the Terrorblade. Trying to get to the outskirts of the Wukong. Command is able to turn with the Thunder now, but the overgrowth a little bit too late with the Mystic Flare Burst to get rid of him. Yolway's gone. Now towards Bok. It's Ace 12. This man is doing it all. Oh, what is the Tree Protector doing to TNC? It's a dieback on Bok. They can catch out Carlo as well. They had the ward on the high ground. It looks like the high ground... Yep, no, it won't even stop him. Ghost Scepter only buying a little bit of time for Carlo, but it will not matter as Lilgun make it a wipe. What a fight for them.
Yeah, it's really just the Mars and the Treant show right now. 11... Ace 12, they're doing a fantastic job. just using the Nature's Guys as well. I mean, not too often you see it used aggressively in teamfights just because it supports. Your life is just so much more important than a little bit of lockdown in a lot of these engagements. But Ace 12 just finding the exact time to be able to poke his head in and make sure that he's able to get that extra second of lockdown needed.
13,000 net worth lead now for Lilgun. Prime position to be able to send this into a deciding game 3. Tier 2 tower, soon to be claimed. Roche up in 45 seconds as well, but they're not waiting. Sanctity, he wants the high ground. A medal?
He has enough for the buyback if they need it. Might look to contest in melee form and then, well, if needed, buy back and do it a second time.
Look at Ace. Oh, look at this positioning. That's a really, really good ward to be able to utilize now.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get out?
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Yeah, they're going to look to get up. All right. So melee barracks has been claimed. And you have so much vision to play with in Radiant's territory. This is going to make it so difficult for TNC now. With how they're able to get the initiation before Lilgun can scout them out. Oh, not even that. You just got the extra ring as well for the Monkey King at the 25 talent. We're still yet to see our first 25 on TNC.
We unfortunately didn't end up running into any of the observer wards that were placed down in the lane, but still with that gem, it's just going to make the map shrink further and further. Going to go for another smoke. Looks like they will. Looking to again catch the back line if possible.
They're under the
All their ultimates.
No. Oh no. They're under the ward. Only Terrorblade is going to be okay with the Ninja Gear. Sanctity. He's on the prowl. Looking to catch out one. It's going to be Mavis, the initial target. Down to the south. They've caught another. Blocking the tree line. As Mr. 11 is always catching out these heroes on TNC. Oh, we saw Chris have an incredible Mars game in game 1. I know the KDA is not looking too good for 11, but his impact overall has been exceptional.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's just always making the right plays at the right time. I really want to see them get a Lotus Orb as well on Lilgun, just to secure things for themselves. I mean, again, great against Fatal Bonds, great against Reflection, great against the Silence coming through, Grave Chill.
They're going to be on Carlo. Ace 12 and Kishka, both supports from Lilgun. Ultimate's committed, Overgrowth and Mystic Flare, but you put the Titan in the grave for 50 seconds and he doesn't have a buyback.
Tis mine.
I wonder if it's even worth just ignoring this top tower for Sanctity. It'll
Radiant's top
refresh the
tower is
glyph, which
under
I'm not
attack.
sure is what you want right now on Lilgun when the lanes are in a really solid position in mid and
Radiant's
bot,
top
but
tower has
well,
fallen.
it'll slow things down a little bit. You would hate to have that be the thing that prevents them from
Radiant's
securing
top
these
tower
racks
is
and
under attack.
therefore the game, but well, clearly they feel like they're in such a dominant position, and they are. 23k net worth lead. Scythe of Vice as well, picked up from Kishka. He's holding onto the Timeless Relic as well, so
Radiant's top
it's
tower
nearly like a
has fallen.
5-second stun and mute coming through.
We got the refresher shot onto 423's Monkey King.
Radiant's top
So
tower
double
is under
Wukongs could be a
attack.
concern. They're pinging out
Positioning
Ace.
again.
They're pinging him out. They know exactly where he is.
Radiant's
He's been
structures
really
are
important to the
fortified.
team fights. Should be able to make it down to the low ground.
Found him.
Avalanche to buy some time. The Familiars are ticking him down, but Ace, is he actually going to tick out of the Fatal Bonds? No, I don't think so.
He's got the living armor on him, so he's like
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
of course, just standing in the tree line, providing him with a whole lot of bonus HP. Always great. Even just leech seeding an ancient creep, why not? Right. 3 seconds left till Overgrowth. They're just going to look to make the exact same type of play.
Waiting in the tree line, maybe to see if Ace going to make the same play
Are scanning.
or trying to spring the trap. The Sanctity's got plenty of time to work with his Aegis. What's the call? Is Carlo going to toss him back? Yeah, just that. Into the meta. So the first life used. They should be able to bring him down, but look at the reinforcements showing up. 11 Arena, along with the Wukongs. This is not a spot you want to fight if you're TNC. You need to get out. Yoe's going to be able to break out of the overgrowth. Now they're trying to set up for round 2 as Sank to the west. He's going to be okay. Second use of the wall coming up. Surely is 11. Locks onto the Terrorblade, but Carlo! What a toss! Defensively keeping Yoe alive. But the barracks will not have the same fate. A second full set soon to Klishka. Whoa! Scarith Mage enters the fight, just gets rid of Krish. TNT though, Yoe's in. Let's see how much damage the Terrorblade can truly do. Trying to man-fight Sanctity, but the stuns are holding him back for the moment. Try and protect him with a Lotus Orb onto the illusion actually instead, but Yoe will not matter.
Just a lot of buybacks used, and I feel like you're pretty satisfied with that. Again, if you're Lilgun, another lane of racks, you know the meta's been popped. If they want to, they could just look to regroup again in the next 20 or so seconds and make another attempt. Yeah, just wait 40 seconds, actually, for your ultimates to be available. There's still not going to be any TB meta. Push out the waves. Holding on to 9,000 gold on this TA right now.
Jesus. What do you want, sir? Do you want a blessing? Upgraded boots? You want to swap something in for your BKB? Moonshard? Yeah, whatever you want, Sanctity. And you mentioned as well in the draft, not a lot of people are going for this Templar Assassin, but if there's any reason to pick it, it is Sanctity's TA. A big reason why we see Lilgun still go back into it. 13, 2, and 9. Top of the net worth. Sanctity is having a hell of a game.
He is for sure. Honestly, like, even though, again, the KDA doesn't show it, for TNC, Carlo's having a really good one. I mean, he is the only way that they're able to have it, even a remotely decent start to all of these team fights, but the rest of the draft just isn't there, unfortunately.
All right, it's going to be the same play. Toss back, but they won't have the meta this time. Nice reaction, Sanctity. Blinks out under cover the BKB. Now this is all in shambles. You had one opportunity, and it's going to cost you multiple heroes. It looks like his box life pool just evaporates to the ring.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Just getting buyback there on the Tiny. They'll look to, again, try for that toss back. I mean, they won't have the BKB, so... Well, actually, 4-3 wasn't even forced to pop it, so he could just put himself on the front lines, even drop the Wukongs to be able to secure the Mega Creeps, and why not?
Yep.
It's going to be an easy way for them to approach up into that base.
The Dire now
Mega
have
Creeps
Mega
spawning before that 45-minute mark as well, so even the Siege Creeps become Mega. There's no coming back from this.
You don't reckon?
I don't reckon. Gaben don't reckon.
Gaben don't reckon, indeed. I think there's always a chance with a toss back into... All right, well, screw you. All right, no chance. Sorry, lads.
Call it.
Oh. Sancty's reactions were incredible at that. The entrance down bottom. And I think if he doesn't react, then that is literally the only way you hold this high ground here. Toss back into meta. I think you have to instantly drop rock for the chain control. You can't kind of...
You got 100 to 0 them.
Yeah.
You can't, like, split up the damage. It can't be a slow fight. They're going to outlast you. You've got to, like, refreshes. You've got BKB piercing, mass disable with the overgrowth coming through from Ace 12, who's playing a fantastic game. Like, you have... how many refraction instances? 11 to get through? Probably more. How's my math? 13. So it's like, how do you contest into this?
Difficult position for them to be in on TNC. You have okay ways to deal with the lanes. Wonder what Yoe is going to go next as well. Maybe just, I think you're put in a position where Rapier is that item, but he is really, really far away. So you're going to need to hold not only just one attempt, maybe a second attempt without the Rapier. Just gonna play this one methodically.
Not even close to picking something up on TNC side, right? That could be that game changer. We could see going for Aeon Discs, going for Ghost Scepters, going for Force Staffs, but they're just still so far away. And the 100 to 0 burst, I mentioned how important it is for TNC to get that onto Lilgun to have any chance, but I mean, you're just getting 100 to 0 every single time because, again, the pick-off potential, the pushing power, the overall carry potential that isn't put onto just one hero, it's just so much greater on Lilgun.
It's kind of interesting. Warlock deals with the Megas relatively well. Would not expect it.
Shadowwood's good.
Radiant are scanning.
You have to commit all your spells for it, so it's a bit awkward of a timing if they look to go as... One last fight for Lilgun. A jump before the Stoneform. Tries to toss 11 back inside the base, but oh, what an arena. Yowe's on the outskirts, so they're not going to have any damage being dished out from the Terrorblade. He has to go the long way around, but still fighting inside the Wukongs for the moment. Forced off to the right, dealing with Krish for the moment. Is buying some time thanks to the Yule Scepter, but as soon as he falls down, they'll put him in the grave for the last time this game. Now they can turn to Yolway next. A BKB, Manta into the Sunder. Yolway's going to have a fresh health ball to be able to play with. They've cut out a lot of spells as Kisha soon to fall. He's got to buy back to rejoin, but Lilgun soon to make TNC's territory their own.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
11.
Again, they just can't fight into this, and they've got a set amount of time to take these fights. Yowe, that meta only has about quarter duration left, so you're kind of forced to fight right
Nice
now when you
spear.
really don't want to be.
Nice spear from 11. Holds back Yowe, so Sanctity can reposition, get the refraction back up. T4 towers are gone. You need an answer. I don't think it's going to come out. Looks like we are going to that game 3 decider. TV is going to buy back. Sanctity is going to end this game beyond godlike.
Are fortified.
A glyph to buy some time and maybe hope that someone DCs, and that will not be the case. As there we go, game 3, Lilgun. What an incredible performance from them to be able to send us the distance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was a very clear draft victory to mine. It felt like Lilgun were very all-round draft, right? They had decent lanes, they had strong carry that they were able to build around, and it wasn't just like a, if this doesn't work, we've got absolutely no options. I mean, we saw at the very end when they were taking those megas, Sanctity, he was doing the brunt of the work, but when he doesn't have BKB, you've got 4-2-3 there, who's able to lay down the Wukongs, be the one to siege up onto that high ground, and you know, their team fight was better, their pickoff was better, their high ground was better. Just everything across the board for Lilgun was superior. So I think this was going down to their coach. I think they can give him a pat on the back, but you know, TNC, they held out for 49 minutes, so there has to be something to be said about that in terms of their resilience and how they're able to draw this one out to give themselves even a shred of an opportunity. But unfortunately, with these heroes, just was never going to be the case.
I got what I was wanting. A game 3 out of TNC and Lilgun. Of course, again, Lilgun, they are currently flawless in regards to their series count, 3-0. TNC sitting in 1-2. So a very important series from both these teams. Lilgun could further cement their position at the top, and well, TNC, if they lose this as well, they're getting to, you know, around the talks where we might be saying, you know, they're one of the teams that might be relegated out of Division 2. But getting ahead of ourselves here, we do still have a game 3 decider. 1-1 tied here. We'll find out what's going to happen after the break.